Hi, I'm Jay O'Brien. We're hard at work producing the first episode of ICTV Reports, a new news magazine show here on ICTV. It premieres this February, but until then, we have a web exclusive for you. We were in Washington on Inauguration Day, reporting from both the National Mall, where President Trump was sworn in, and the protests in other parts of Washington. What we saw there painted a picture of a divided America. Here's that report. It was a day that pollsters, the media, the Washington establishment, and about half of the nation's voters didn't see coming. Under an overcast sky at around noon on January 20th, Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States.
So help me God.
His inaugural address painting a bleak picture of America.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
But for his supporters, it was a day of vindication. A man they had followed so intently, some from the very beginning of the election, was now the most powerful man in the world. The crowd on the National Mall showing a palpable energy.
He's just going to bring so many jobs back to this country and help the veterans and help the American people.
He's different. He's not a politician. He's a businessman. He'll get things done.
Even though it was a smaller inauguration audience than previous ceremonies.
For an hour now until Donald Trump takes the stage, and one of the big stories is the empty space here closest to the Capitol.
And while Trump supporters across the National Mall rejoiced, protesters took to the streets in other parts of Washington.
The rest of the world is watching, and Trump, the tyrant, just came into our office.
Violence soon erupted, some protesters pelting police with bricks and rocks, injuring 6 officers. Police countered with pepper spray, flashbang grenades, and rubber bullets.
Yeah, there was tear gas. It got in our system a little bit.
The protest line was pushed back, while some protesters began destroying property. Banks, restaurants, and cars all destroyed. Some Trump hats even burned. We were there for that too, just as one limousine was even set on fire, sending police into a frenzy and fire engines into action.
They've pushed now the protesters back to get at the fire.
And while the majority of the demonstrations were peaceful, the images show a stark contrast between those that supported Trump and those willing to take to the streets against him.
Our streets!
The protests eventually subsided. They gave way to massive demonstrations the next day, millions of women marching on Washington in peaceful opposition to the new president. The crowd's numbers outshining the inauguration audience. After a whirlwind weekend, Washington has calmed now, preparing itself for what is sure to be a tense 4 years. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jay O'Brien for ICTV Reports.